Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, welcome to our Saturday stream. How y'all doing? My name is rbPlays. I am your humble host on this side of the screen. Thanks so much for stopping by. If this is your first time here, then, sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a beverage, hang out for a little while, see if you like what we do. This is going to be a little bit different stream than our normal streams because this is the first Saturday of the month. And as is tradition, on the first Saturday of the month, we just have a Just Chatting session. Diamond Anvil was asking where the pre-stream audio was, but it's there. It's subtle. It's nice and low, nice and mellow. So hopefully, it enhances your viewing experience. I was getting ready to type the answer to you, and I noticed there was only 5 seconds left on the countdown clock. So I said, I figured I'd just answer it live and in person. How's everybody's week going? Hopefully you all are well. Happy 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence to my fellow Americans. Today is America 250, America's birthday. And as a person who cares about such things, I feel good today. I have a little bit of a headache, but I feel good today. 250 years ago, in Congress, in Philadelphia, a number of men staked their lives and livelihoods on an idea, on a principle that we should be the curators of our own destiny. And so they committed the ultimate act of treason in the eyes of the crown, and said, we don't work for you no more. We want to be our own selves. And thus commenced the great experiment. It took us a long time to get to where we are, obviously, 250 years later. We still have work to do. We're not perfect. Everybody likes to point fingers and pass judgment, myself included. But honestly, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I'm proud to be an American. And that may be an unpopular opinion. I don't know. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud of my journey in the great American experiment. And let's see what the future holds. Good morning, Deether. Welcome to the stream, buddy. This is where you keep all your stuff. I mean, sure. Don't get me wrong. There are things that if we could change them today, there are things that I would say, okay, let's do that. Let's change this today. But one of the beautiful and frustrating things about the great American experiment is that we can't do that. We can't just change something today. It takes time. It's a process. And yes, that is very frustrating because there are some things that absolutely should change faster than they do. But then there are other things where you maybe in the heat of the moment aren't really paying attention to what's happening. And you're like, there ought to be a law, there ought to be this, there ought to be that. And then they push something through and it doesn't work out the way that you anticipated. So, good morning, Darth Ekerb. Welcome to the stream, buddy. So, with that being said, love it or hate it, America is 250 years old today. The idea of America, officially on paper, is 250 years old today. I hope you all have, I hope you all, whatever plans that you have for today, I hope that you are blessed and safe. Nobody's going to lose any fingers today out there, right? There's a meme that goes around the internet every year on the 4th of July that right now, this moment, someone out there, this is the last moment they will have all 10 of their fingers. And it's true. Don't do dumb shit with fireworks, please. Leave it to the professionals. Unless you are a professional. If you are a professional, then go forth and be explosive. But yeah. So, now that we've got America's birthday out of the way, we need to talk about something. It was signed on the 2nd. Yes, that is true. That is true. I believe I have heard that someplace before. So yeah, we got to talk about something. Yesterday, I watched a video by Learn Linux TV, trusted source in the Linux community for all things newbie related when it comes to Linux and the Linux ecosystem and Linux stuff. And it was I've been kicking this idea around a while, and it was that I wanted to dual boot my PC. I wanted to dual boot because I'm still trying to find viable solutions for a couple of things. But I also haven't forced myself to find those viable solutions to some things. Laser engraving in the wood shop. I can use Lightburn, but Lightburn has officially ended support for Linux. They did that 2 years ago. So there is a version of Lightburn that's available, and I can use it, but I will no longer receive any updates. There will be no further development, etc. So I wanted to find a viable Linux alternative for that. Fusion 360, I use that for a lot of my models, for stuff that I do for work, as well as stuff that I do here. FreeCAD is a viable option, but the learning curve is pretty steep. And so I would love for FreeCAD to be the option, but at this point, it just isn't. It just isn't. SketchUp is easy. SketchUp is another one that I use pretty regularly, and I can get SketchUp to work on Linux, so that one's covered. Video editing, DaVinci Resolve is my favorite, but Kdenlive works very well, so I'm covered there. Audio stuff, I use Audacity for recording sound clips, voice clips, etc., for narration and stuff, so I'm covered there. So really, the big ones, the real big ones. Oh, and Vinyl Cutter. We have a Vinyl Cutter at work. I have to use my laptop to do vinyl cutting at work because our IT department will not allow us to install the software on my work PC. That's a whole nother story. So I got to be able to get vinyl cutting working on Linux as well. If I were to make the switch full time, which, so yesterday I watched a video from Learn Linux TV. So yeah, Diamond, yes, the laser engraver is the least important. Like, I can do everything I need to do with the old version of Lightburn, and it works fine. I just engraved a cutting board the other day using Lightburn, old features, etc. So that's that would be a nice to have if I could do it. Watch the video from Learn Linux TV. This is how you set up dual boot on OneDrive, installing Linux Mint next to Microsoft Windows. I watched the video all the way through. I was like, man, that's super simple. Let's do it. Let's set it up. I've got a 2 terabyte drive. Let's set it up. So I did. And there's a spot, those of you who have installed Linux on a system, you know exactly the spot that I'm talking about. There is a spot in 90%, if not more, of your Linux installers that said, how do you want to install this? There's an option for install alongside Windows, or nuke and pave the drive and do a fresh install, or custom. Well, the option that we want is to install alongside Windows. So I selected that. And the very next screen is supposed to be a slider where you can say, this is how much space I want my Windows partition to be, and this is how much space I want my Linux partition to be. I didn't get that option. When I went from the install alongside Windows and I hit next, it just started to install. I didn't lose my Windows partition, but it's now labeled, it was then labeled as a Ubuntu partition, because Mint is basically Ubuntu, right? And I couldn't get Windows to boot. I would get a grub screen that said, "Hey, we don't see a viable OS here. What do you want to do?" So yeah, I spent the better part of the day trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And then I just went ahead and did this. That's right. So that's the other thing. I didn't create a backup. I didn't create a backup. Rule number 1, create a backup. I thought, it'll be fine. Wasn't fine. Now, I talked with Zendian on our Discord a little bit, and he offered me a few suggestions. And there was supposed to be a way that you could redo Grub so that it would see the Windows install. It didn't work. So I rebooted with my live USB, went back into a Linux environment, and mounted the 2 terabyte drive. Thankfully, the contents of that drive were still there. It didn't pave over the drive. So I was able to pull all of my data off of that old drive, which is about the best outcome. Gparted is your friend for reworking partitions. Yes, Yes. And I didn't even think about that yesterday. I didn't even think about Gparted yesterday. But what I did do, and this is forcing my hand. I need to find these viable alternatives for some of the things that I have concerns about. I just need to get off my ass and do it. So I went ahead and I installed Linux Mint. My entire ecosystem now, my streaming PC, my gaming PC, my test laptop that I carry around stuff just for testing, it's all Linux. It's all Linux Mint 22. Which I ain't mad about. So far, everything on the gaming PC is working about as well as I could hope. I have not tried a lot of Steam games yet. But I will. I'm gonna probably get Steam installed on it today, and then start downloading games and seeing which ones work and which ones don't. I know that there are some Steam games that are going to be just fine. I know there are. And I also know that there are going to be some Steam games that may not work very well at all. I'm hoping that PGA Tour Golf works fine. I know that Baldur's Gate will work fine. And then there are a bunch of other games in the family's shared library that... Apparently, I'm going to use my free time to find all these viable options that I've been looking for. But yeah, no more Windows for me, at least not right now. If I cannot find viable options for some of these things that I've been talking about, I will do a dual boot, but it will be a dual boot that uses two different drives. It will be a dual boot that uses two different drives. This computer has an NVMe slot. That's what's in there right now. I have a 2 terabyte NVMe, and then it also has a standard, 2.5 inch SSD slot. So I need to get a 2.5 inch SSD drive. I have some, but they're small, a couple 100 gigs or something, like a couple 100 gigs. So not very big at all. Ideally, I would love to have a laptop that has an NVMe slot and then 2 slots for SSDs. That way I could have a Windows drive. I could also have a Linux drive, and then I could have a storage drive. It's a pie in the sky thing. Anyway, use custom option, much more control over how you do things. I will not just push next time either. I learned a couple of things yesterday, but the big thing that I learned yesterday is if there is any deviation at all from what you see in the instructions to what you experience in real life, you should stop. You should not go any farther. You should stop. And I didn't stop. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The biggest thing to do is backup. Yes. There is one. I have one concern. So we were able to get all the mods 10, all of the stuff that's in CurseForge. That was in CurseForge, I was able to get. And I am not using CurseForge on Linux because CurseForge doesn't work on Linux. Well, it does, but you can only play one game, I think. World of Warcraft, I think. They don't have it set up for Minecraft yet, which I don't know what the holdup is there. but I am using the Feed the Beast launcher. Feed the Beast launcher works just fine on Linux. So I've thought about the Prism, I think it's Prism launcher. But it seems to have the same issue that MultiMC has, in that it's not easy to update your mod packs. In Feed the Beast, I can just download the update and it'll install. So yeah. But yeah, yesterday was not a good day. I had the day off work. I was like, hey, today's a great day to try this. Nope. Was not a great day. Why? All right, so tech talk time here. Well, I mean, it's been tech talk time for a while. So I'm using StreamerBot to integrate chats. So if anybody says anything over on YouTube, if anybody says anything on Twitch, I get a combined chat here in OBS, and it works fine. Like, those are real time. What you guys see on the screen right there for chat, that's real time. If somebody types something over into YouTube's chat or Twitch's chat, you'll get it there. But then over here on this screen over here, I have a larger chat window. So Diamond Anvil said, "Good thing you had the whole day available." Over here on this channel, I don't have that message yet, and I don't know why. I don't know if there's a time. I don't know if there's a time like interval update thing for this chat window over here. I'm gonna have to look into that and see how often it refreshes. It uses some kind of WebSocket to get the updates. So maybe there's a timing thing on that. I don't know. But the good thing I had the whole day. I didn't really have the whole day. I had most of the day. Early yesterday morning, I jumped in the vehicle and drove to my wood supplier because I needed to get some Purple Heart and some figured maple for a client cutting board that I'm working on. So that only took me a couple hours to get down there, pick the wood out, and get back. It only took me a few hours. I was back home by 9:30, and it was about that time that I was like, okay, I think this is going to be my next project. Working on this. And then because we had the day off, anytime I have a day off work, Mrs. RB and I try to do a little date. Yeah, I did. I drove to my wood supplier because I need another fix. Yep. I got the Purple Heart that I got. So the piece of Purple Heart that I got is probably about 48 or 50 inches long by 6.5 inches wide, and it is quarter sawn. It is beautiful straight grain stuff. Holy cow, it's so good. And it was $26. It was $26. I was like, whew, I'll take it. Fortunately for me, here where I am, there's not a big market for Purple Heart, so that keeps the prices down on it. But it is beautiful quarter sawn stuff. It is so nice to find treasures like that. The piece of maple that I got is probably 60 inches long by 6.5-ish inches wide. I guess, you know what? That was $48. 48? Yeah, something like $48. But it was also 12 inches longer, so maybe it nah, that's basically double the price. So yeah, I did not get as good of a deal on the maple, but maple is a much more sought after wood. So it stands to reason that it's going to be more expensive. And it wasn't, I mean, it's a nice piece of maple, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for something that's got a lot of figure to it. And this one, I mean, it's got figure to it, but it's not as nice as I was hoping for. But I'm also on a deadline, so I got to get it done. I can make it work. Anyhow. Can't believe I know better. I know better than to do what I did with my computer yesterday. All is not lost. I still have, so that this laptop came with a 500 gig NVMe drive when we bought it for Mrs. RB 5 years ago. And I still have that 500 gig NVMe that has Windows on it as it was when I took it out. So I still have that. If I really wanted to, I could put that back in and it would be fine. Do they make, here's a question for the huddled masses. Do they make an internal SSD enclosure for an NVMe drive? I feel like the answer to that is probably yes. Because if they do, I wonder how hard it would be to install the old NVMe for Windows, take the 2 terabyte NVMe for Linux, put it into an enclosure, put it into the SSD slot, the PCIe slot. I guess it'd be NVMe to standard PCIe. I have an NVMe to USB. But I don't like that option. Something to think about. I'd have to figure out how to update Grub. To get it to see that there's a Windows install and a Linux install, and give me the option to boot in between. It's worth thinking about. 'Tis worth thinking about. I'll let you guys look that up. I made another purchase. For the... Use the custom option and won't be an issue. Okay. I made a purchase for the CNC router. I have... I can even do the same to the 2 terabyte. Oh, I could do the same to the 2 terabyte. I could scale that down and I could tell Windows to install it into that other partition, right? Yes, I could do that. Anyway, I have a 12 volt power supply for the CNC router, but I want a 24 volt power supply. So I bought one. Love the smell of electronics. I bought a 24 volt power supply for the CNC router. I'm sure I'll use the 12 volt for something. I need to go buy plywood, but I got to get my customer projects done first. Some of you have seen the cutting board projects that I've been working on in the Discord. There's a woodworking section in the Discord, and the one that I'm making for the gift, well, I'm making a few of them for a gift, but the one that I'm making for a gift is actually very, very nice. I'm very proud of it. It's turning out very good. I have 2 more cutting boards that I have to make. One of them I have to have done before the weekend of the 19th, because that's when I'm giving it to the person. So I've got a couple of weeks to get that done. Yeah. Okay. It's warm in here. I'm gonna turn this fan up. Fan's a little wobbly at high speed, but it feels so much better. We started redoing the deck boards on the deck on the back of the house. Of course, leave it to me to start when it's super hot. I'm pretty sure I gave myself mild heat exhaustion one day. But what we're doing is we're taking all the deck boards off. The joists are fine underneath, but we're taking all the old deck boards off and a little wobbly at high speed. That's funny. I approve. Taking all the deck boards off, but we're not taking them all off at once. We're taking a handful off and then replacing them with new boards, and then taking some more off and replacing them with new boards. It's me and the middle offspring. Me and the middle offspring are the ones that are doing the bulk of the work. But I'm pretty sure I gave myself some mild heat exhaustion the other day. Because, it's 1,000 degrees outside. And it's hard to stay hydrated. So we would go outside for a little bit, come inside for a little bit, go outside for a little bit, come inside for a little bit. I still have 6 boards to replace. And then all of the deck boards will be new. Then I got to do the railings. I got to replace those. We have to replace at least the stair treads, but I think I'm going to have to replace the stair stringers as well, because those are not in as great a shape as I'd like them to be. It's been a long time since I've cut a stringer. I can do it. Yeah, it's not bad. Only 6 boards left. But when you figure that when I started, there were 30. It's probably 30. No, it's not 30. 2, 4, 6, 8. Probably somewhere between 15 to 20% left. Probably closer to 20%. Probably close to 20% left. But Mrs. RB is like, hey, there's a couple of gaps out there still. You gonna get those finished? Yes, I am. I promise you, it's gonna happen. I have two spots. I ran one long board short, so I bought 16 and 20 foot boards because my deck has it's predominantly, what is it? It's 14 feet, 3/4 of an inch from one end of the deck to the other for the first 8 feet. And then after 8 feet, there's a little bump out on one side. It's where we used to put the grill. there's a little bump out that goes out another probably 3.5, 4 feet. Yes, there are also a couple thousand degrees out there and not just a few gaps. Yes. Ideally, we will finish those 6 boards today. But anyway, there's this little bump out, and so it goes from 14 feet to roughly 18 feet. And I ran one 20-foot board short. I ran one 20-foot board short. So I've got a gap there, and then I put some spacer blocks in, and then just kept on going. So I've got a gap about halfway out the deck that goes from the short section to the long section. So you got to step over that. My wife made a little bridge for all the squirrels and stuff. I was like, they don't need that. It's only a 6.5-inch gap. They don't need a bridge. They can jump. See that? I want a bridge there. Okay, she made a little bridge for them. But yeah, I either need to get a long board for that, but I don't know how I'm going to get home because it's 20 feet. I had all these boards delivered. The board itself is $14.85. I'm sure that the delivery charge for one 20-foot deck board is not going to be great, but I have lots of extra. I have enough extras of the shorter boards that I actually could make it work. I don't like that idea, but I might just do it. So put in a shorter board and then add to it, and because where that bump out is, it's actually a double joist, so I could have one board, the short board, go all the way over one joist, and I could have the other board come all the way to the end of the second joist. There'd be a seam there, but it's right at a post. I don't think it'd be super visible, especially once we get it sealed and stained and everything. I don't think it'd be super visible. So anyway, I don't know. Bought a nice dark walnut. Yeah, I had to have them delivered. $700 worth of deck boards, and I'm one short. Oh well. The pile of boards is significantly shorter out in my driveway. Significantly smaller. What else is new? What else is going on? How many of you have big plans for celebrations tonight? Mrs. RB and I, and at least one of the kids, were planning on going to some fireworks tonight, but I don't think we're going now. It's just too stinking hot. And there's also storms in the area today, which is moderately unfortunate. I don't know. More time to get the deck done. Yes. Yes, that's 100% accurate. More time to get the deck done. And then also, I need to rearrange the studio. I'm tired of the way the studio is. I want to rearrange the studio. I don't think it's going to be this weekend, though. But I need to do it. I need to build myself a nice desk. You guys have seen the desk in here. I need to build myself a nice desk. I got too much. The shop is pretty warm. The shop is pretty warm, but it gets you out of the sun. And I do have so the other thing is I have a giant like 3-foot diameter shop fan. And we actually put that out on the deck, but easy enough to bring that back inside too. Really got to figure out how I'm going to get that shop to cool off. Dehumidifier out there would be great. Yes, that is a huge help. It's only blowing hot air, but it's moving air, right? It's wicking away. Hey, Dylan. Yes, Dylan. It is. It is warm out there. It's warm everywhere. I got in the car Thursday after work, because yesterday, today's 4th of July, but our company gave us Friday off in observance for it, right? So I got in my car Thursday after work, and it was 100 degrees in the car. Well, it was 100 degrees in the parking lot. Inside the car, it had to be 120. It was hot. It was hot. Yeah, yesterday I took Mrs. RB out on a date. Went and got lunch. It was lovely. Then I had to go and do some grocery shopping yesterday, because I don't want to have to go out today. Being the 4th of July, everybody's got jacked up hours. I mean, most of the places are going to be open until at least 6 o'clock, but I was like, if I don't have to go anyplace today, I really don't want to. But then I woke up this morning with a sinus headache and discovered that I only have one sinus allergy pain medicine dose left. So I have to go get that. But fortunately for me, CVS is right on the corner. Like, I could walk to CVS if I wanted to. Um, so I do have to go get that. I do have to go get that. I would go get the piece of plywood that I need for the CNC router, but I don't have any place to put it. I have no place to put a piece of plywood in my shop right now. It's too hot to walk. That is also true. So maybe I'll just drive, because then I'll have air conditioning. The van is in the garage, so it is not excruciatingly hot. Dylan's Woodshop, what you been working on, buddy? Got anything good going on? What's that? Oh. 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 I think Diamond Anvil's hot on the case of something here. That's a good one, Diamond. That's a good one. That's a good one. If you're curious as to what it is, you should be on our Discord. Anyhow, made bunk beds for your daughter. Nice. It's too hot to work out there this week. I feel your pain, buddy. I really do. I need to put the for your daughter's dolls. Okay. So a mini bunk bed. Got it. That's cool. That's cool. I've got one cutting board that I need to put the wax finish on. I've got another cutting board that I have to put the mineral oil finish on. Yeah, ain't that the truth? So yeah, I've got one cutting board that I need to put the wax finish on. I've got another cutting board that I need to put the oil and the wax finish on. I've got another cutting board that I need to build and then oil and wax. And then I've got another cutting board that I need to build and wax. 3 of these cutting boards are gifts. One is for a client. And then as another gift, in conjunction with the 3 gift cutting boards, I have to build a wall shelf. So yeah. And it's so hot. Like, I can work in my shop for, for a little while. The because one of the cutting boards and the shelf are for the same person, for the same person. I'm not going to do one of my traditional thick cutting boards. It's going to be more of a face grain, almost like vegetable board or something like that. Um, almost charcuterie board. So I just got to figure out which boards I'm going to use for that. Actually, I think I know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to make it out of walnut because I've got some nice walnut. I got some nice walnut that's pretty flat and has some nice face grain to it. I just got to make sure I can get it wide enough. Usually the face grain boards, I do those to be about 12 by 20. Usually about 12 by 20. And then the other boards that I do, I usually make those in roughly a 16 by 9 or 10 by 18 kind of a thing. So shouldn't be too bad to get those. Shouldn't be too bad to get those finished up. The shelf is going to be the one that's going to try me the most. So what I'm going to do with the shelf is I'm going to make a couple of inch and a quarter, inch and a half styles that will be 16 inches apart. They'll be 16 inches apart so that it's easy to get them into a wall stud. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put keyhole slots in the back. So you just have to hang it. But then it's going to be made out of poplar, so nothing fancy. But it's going to be a couple of live edge shelves that are not really tenoned, but they'll be mounting slots. Well, I guess it's going to kind of be loose tenons. Loose tenons, well, loose dowel tenons. I guess I could do screw. I guess I could do screws because it'd be going through the back. It'd be going through the back of the style of the upright into the shelf. So as long as I pre-drill, glue, and use long enough screws, it'll hold. And I'll make sure to tell the people that it's for. Like, this is not for big heavy stuff, right? This is for knickknacks. You don't want to load this thing down, because that's what they ask for. And I'll just make sure that they understand. Like, don't put every book you own on this unless you only own like 2 books. But it's for knickknacks and such. It's gonna look great. Don't dual boot Windows and Linux wrong. Thank you, Estrisi. Thank you. I'm glad you're here to remind me of that. I'm glad you're here to remind me of that. You're the best. Use the bestest. I did do one thing wrong when I set up my my home drive on my new Linux install. Just doing your work? Yeah, you're the greatest. So instead of I know, I do pay for what I'm getting. It's a bargain basement price. It's a bargain basement price for sure. So when I set up my home drive, I screwed that up again. RB. I set it up as RC. Don't look in the tech channel. Your computer's a mess right now. Oh dear. Oh dear. We gotta look in the tech. We gotta look in the tech channel. Gotta look in the tech channel. Oh my. What have you done here? What have you done? What are you doing? Did you screw something up too? Didst thou screw something up on your computer as well? New screens? Okay. Oh. So, hear me out on something, you guys. At what point is good enough good enough? And this is something that can apply to any aspect of virtually anything, right? I have $10. You paid $10 for those two screens each or total? Done is better than perfect. I've heard that a million times. You paid $10 total. Man, I'll tell you what. I need to find out where you get this crap from, because I would spend $10 on two monitors. Done is when done is. That's another way to look at it. So I have a pretty decent streaming setup, right? Over here, I've got the tower that I built. How long ago did I build this tower? 5 years ago now? Has it been 5? I think it's been like 5 years. I got the tower that I've built over here. I've got 3 monitors, and it's taken me a while. Definition of done discussion incoming. Yes. I got 3 monitors here. The main one in front of me is a decent size. I want to say it's like 20. No, it's not 20. Yeah, it's 20. Probably 20. I don't even know, because I didn't even buy it. I found it, right? And I got this one over here, which I think is 18. This one over here is another 18, but it's turned vertical. Done is when your profit and your quality match. Ooh. Over here is my mixing board. It's where my Audio-Technica AT2020 go to, and then my headphone feed comes from there. It's overkill for what I need. So again, how good is good enough? I probably could have gotten by with a Focusrite. For the limited things that I need, I could have gotten by with a Focusrite, but I had to have a mixing board. I got a little USB hub here for peripherals and stuff. And then I've got a stereo power head for audio. Like, I can output from the mixing board to that, and then I could play to room speakers that I don't have. I don't have any room speakers. Concept can be quantified using the formula W equals F times D cosine of theta. Okay. Sure. And then over there, I got a little network switch for hardwiring all of this into my network, right? There are times when I wonder, is this good enough? And I don't know why I have that wonder. Like, how? Look on Facebook Marketplace. Well, see, that's the thing. Do I need more? I don't know. I don't know if I need more. I will say this. I mentioned earlier that I'm not real happy with the orientation of my studio. Because if anything goes wrong on that side of the monitors, I can't get to it. So I want to turn it 90 degrees. And when I'm looking out, I want to look past the desk. Right now I'm looking at a wall. There's some audio baffles on the wall, but I'm looking at a wall. And then behind me, you know, I've got some audio baffles up there, and I got my Van Halen stuff, and I got my sword, and I got my Batarang, and I got some Lego stuff, right? Lego Minecraft stuff. So, who said anything about 90? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Somebody said something about 90. Oh, nobody said anything about 90. Right now, here where I'm at. See, that's a great question, Diamond. For one stream a week, how much do I need versus how much do I want? Oh, I did say that? Oh. It's 81 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Right here. Which isn't bad. Like 81 is mild compared to the last couple of days. Oh, turn. Hardy har. I see what you did there now. You make my brain hurt sometimes. 90 degrees on a coordinate system, not temperature. So turn it 90 degrees. So this desk that's over here, I want it to go along that wall because I never use it for anything except for storage. Yes, 90 degrees on the XY plane. 90 degrees on the XY plane. I could turn it 90 degrees on the Z plane, but that could get a little hairy. But it's basically an L setup, and I want to just turn the whole L setup 90 degrees and then put it over there a little bit. So that window right there would be to my left. Flip it. And that would do a couple of things for me. It would actually open up a lot more floor space for me. And it would give me a better place to put the computer rack that's over there that I still need a bunch of work. I still need to do a bunch of work to. What are you putting up here now? What is that? What is that? What is that? Flip this. Is that a table? Is that a table? Flipping tables. So now we're Jesus in the marketplace. Got it. Yeah, turn this whole thing 90 degrees. I'd be looking at that wall now, but the backside of my desk would be open so that I can, I can do better with cable management, be able to get back in there and fix things, as things get a little bit hairy or whatever. I can fix that stuff. But here's the Istrissy's gonna redeem the Gigantify and emote. Oh dear, what emote is coming at us now that's gonna be big? Well, yeah, that's true. Let me put it this way: I can make changes if I decide. I can make changes easier if I decide that I want to manipulate things around or maneuver things around a little bit. That's probably a better way to say it. Probably. And for a pro streamer, you gotta be able to take care of things, right? I guess that makes. And also that would help me to get the cameras. That camera right there. I'd be able to get that camera off of this monitor so that if I bump the desk, the whole camera doesn't move. My roof is not made out of cardboard. My roof is made out of plywood, and then asphalt. Well, nope. And then roofing paper, and then shingles, asphalt shingles. That's what my roof is made out of. I think I need to get a new roof too. And that's going to be expensive. What I call wood, you call cardboard. IKEA is cardboard. My roof is not made out of IKEA materials. Other than the shingles, my roof is actually in really good shape. Honestly, I know that the preferred thing to do is to tear off and reshingle, but we could just put shingles over that. There's only one layer. I don't want to do that, but you make fun of them too? Okay. That's fair. So you got new monitors, huh? Got new monitors. Nice. They run on DisplayPort. Okay. I kind of want... I know something else that I need. So the beater laptop that I have... Wait, what? You can have all 16 screens on at the same time. How many? You have 16 screens? What could you possibly need 16 screens for? That seems like a bit much to me. Seems like a bit much. No, right now only 15 because you're missing a cable. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you modern problems. What? Ooh. Man. Well, you can make it life size at that point. When you got 16 monitors, you can make it life size. Data screens. Okay. How do you know which screen to look at? Oh, like, how do you know, like, which screen did I have that on? Could you imagine looking at 16 different screens trying to find what you're looking for? I have a hard enough time looking at 4 screens. Well, I get it that you probably have numbers assigned to them, but they're for data. They're for data. Uh-huh. I believe you, Estrisi. I believe you. Oh. Why is my forehead all jacked up? I don't know. Screen 1 is gaming. Screen 2 is my stream. 3 and 4 is chat. Chat for Discord. Okay. What about 5 through 15? 5 through 8 are Minecraft servers. Oh. So I don't see 15 screens in that picture. I see 3. I just got something on my glasses. So 5 through 8 is Minecraft. What are 9 through 15? Well, that's better. I can see now. I can see clearly now. My eyes are open. I don't know. Oh, I know I did that. Never mind. 9 through 11 is... Okay, so you got cameras around your house. That's okay, that's cool. That's one thing I don't have is cameras around my house. So let me ask you guys something. Obviously the easy way is to just buy like Ring cameras or trail cameras. And I've been thinking about putting cameras up around my house, not because of security, but because of wildlife. We have a lot of wildlife around our house. And my wife is becoming more and more attentive to that wildlife. Like, one of the reasons that we're doing the work on the deck is so that she has a place to watch birds. The easy way is to just buy stuff that's not worth stealing. I agree. If you don't make your house look interesting, people usually don't pay it any interest. But with that said, I would like to have a way so that we can capture, like the other day, I was out there screwing boards down on the deck, and 2 deer came wandering up out of the ravine. And they sat there and they looked at us for a little while and then they left. And my wife was able to get pictures of them, but I want to see them naturally. I want to see them as they're just wandering around my yard. Like, how often, when nobody's looking, how often do deer go through my yard? I do have some spare GoPros. I have 3 GoPros. I have 3 GoPros. And my old work phone, because my old work phone was an iPhone 11. Yeah, iPhone 11. And Apple is ending support for it. So my company said you're going to have to get you a new phone. So they got me an iPhone 17. And then they were like, if you want, you can pay us a little bit and you can have the old phone. I was like, yes, I will do that. You do understand you won't be able to use it as a phone. I said, that's okay. I don't need to. I'm going to use it as a video camera. So I now have a dedicated video camera for the shop, because I was recording all my videos on GoPros, which GoPro quality is okay, but it's not great. And then I was also using my cell phone, and that's also okay. But now I have a dedicated camera for the shop. 1 laptop, 1 webcam, and 1 system that can look out the window. But then I have to come up with a way to mount everything and keep it so that it's not in the way of anything in the house, and just don't make it dual boot. Never gonna let me live that down, are you? Never gonna let me live this down. That's okay. I don't expect you to. You guys still make fun of me about that first trip to space that I had when I was playing Minecraft before. And also, where's the digital miner? So, yeah. I get it. Laptop can stand in the window frame. Okay. That would be a good weekend woodshop series. Which one? What would be a good weekend woodshop series? You can see 3 deer out your. You can see 3 deer in your backyard right now. I mean, if I opened that window, I might be able to see some. Do I talk to any of the old beach block buddies? I haven't talked to anyone in a while. I haven't heard from any of them in quite some time. Webcam, just need to point out the window. Really don't need anything. I mean, I guess that's true. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe. So here's the problem that I'm having. I have all of these grand plans of things to do, and I don't have any freaking time to do them. Neighborhood has a very bad urban deer problem. Oof. Yes, I only have one problem. One major significant problem. Yeah, that's a lot, Diamond. Down here, the big thing lately has been black bears. I know BC's here, buddy. I'm glad you're around. I can do it. You can do it like that. Okay. Hang on. See how that pops up here in a second. We've got, Twitch. Pick one project to start, a little at a time. The bears came through 2 weeks ago. Yeah, our big problem right now is especially up in, I want to say it's northwest Atlanta. So not down here by me, but oh yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Live from the north. Anyway, I need Mrs. RB to pick one. She already has. But yeah, the one day this past week, the news showed footage of a guy. He opened up his truck door and there was a freaking black bear in the front seat of his truck. It was a young one, but like that could have been super dangerous. And then there was another gal who was out walking on a trail and like this bear was all up in her face. I don't know how she got away, but she was able to get away from him. Four cams you can control in the chat. Oh, okay. I see. Interesting. So how does he do that? So okay, so I get it. Those are commands, but where does he have those commands routed to? So so for those of you that aren't looking at that other stream that Istrasy posted, he just posted a command !cam2. It's a local bot. Okay, so something like a streamer bot or something that can execute commands. Gotcha. Interesting. And yeah, I know about Texas Hulu. Texas Hula. I know about him. Ideally, man, I tell you what, I would. He has the same. So you can control which camera you see on Texas Hula's page? That's interesting. Excuse me. You can, you don't know if I can. I mean, that's a fair assessment. I screwed up trying to dual boot my computer. I screwed up trying to dual boot my computer. But that's interesting. Anyway. Okay. Cool. So you make a Twitch channel for the laptop and make it look out the window. I suppose. The only concern I have about that is, well, I guess it's not really a concern. The only skepticism I have about that is, like, my backyard's not that exciting. He uses Moonbot and BattleCat for it with stream elements. Okay. So he's using the stream elements bot. Or I mean he's using Moonbot. Never mind. I got it. I have never used Moonbot. I've heard of it. Never used it. You know that dude too? Ideally. Oh, that's the other thing I need to look at. And it's something that I need to look at. So we were talking about what's good enough. Good enough would be for me to be able to get this extra webcam working. And I can't do it right now because it's the flat pack version of OBS. There's a permissions, flat pack permissions thing that I think is what the problem is. I need to look into getting that installed. I need to do that. Because, well, that's something I could do. I could set it up so that we have a live view of the backyard for this stream. Like, we could check in on the outdoors from the stream. That could be cool. The laptop to be on it, to be on for it at the times you're not home, kinda. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But also, I want it to be kind of low profile. Like, I don't want anybody driving down the street to say, "Ooh, he's got a laptop in his window." Also, if they came and took it, then they run the risk of actually being on film. So, anyway, I don't know. Again, the whole point to this was, it was not necessarily for security, but the best security is to just not make your house look interesting. That's why the cams are inside the window. I know, but if it's inside the window, like, you still could see that there's a laptop in the window taking pictures of the outside. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little too paranoid, which is possible. I do have a tendency to do that sometimes. There are things that I don't worry about at all, and then there are things that I worry about way too much. Okay, so you're not talking about using the laptop. I get where you're coming from now. I was thinking the built-in webcam on a laptop. But yeah, well, yeah, separate webcam. That's fine too. That is fine as well. As well. There. Slap myself for you. Don't ask me to do it harder because that hurt. I'm kind of sad, because today is Independence Day, right? And, all of the beverage manufacturers and stuff they're doing cool stuff like this. Harder's Mrs. RB work. Yeah, that's fair. So, but now that July 4th has arrived, how much longer are these going to be around, Your son's birthday is today and he's now 11. Happy birthday, Istrissy's son. Cheers, little dude. What else? What else is worth talking about today? Honestly, I think I'm good now. I've gotten quite a bit off my chest today. And the roof, why don't I do an asphalt roof? We have an asphalt roof. We have an asphalt roof. Ooh, what's that? Was ist das? Technical talk. Oh. DIY webcam stuff. Security camera stuff. I will definitely look into that. No, I have a real roof, Istrissy. It's a real roof. It's a real roof. For those of you who are new around here, if there's anybody out there that's new around here, Strissy gives me a hard time about everything I have being fake, like the time zone that I live in, like my roof, like everything. He gives me a hard time. But he's allowed to do that because he's been around for a long time. The roof that I have is shingles. Yes, I have an asphalt shingle roof. Yes. Which there is nothing wrong with. Well, You want me to put a paver up there and pave my roof? Is this what you're saying? Honestly, if I had my way, I would put in a metal roof, corrugated metal roof. If I had my way. I do that. Well, that people keep telling me that, and no one can give me a great reason as to why to not do that. I'm curious as to what your reasons for not putting in a corrugated metal roof. So metal roofs are better than they used to be. Like, especially when it comes to sound. If you've got an insulated attic and then your roof is installed properly, it shouldn't be much, if any, louder than your regular asphalt roof. I've been in places that have metal roofs that were not installed very well, and I've been in places that have metal roofs that were very much installed very well, and there is a difference. That's a lie? No, it's not. I've been in both of them. That's firsthand. Dylan says his roof is metal and it's a little noisy in the rain, but it's, yeah, I understand. Snow falls off easy and it's great. For the DIY, and you have a thatched roof. Maybe when I get that hut in the tropics, we'll do a thatched roof. See, now that's weird. Earlier, we were waiting for the message that popped up here to pop up in my big chat window. But the one that Diamond just sent, it popped up right away. It's got to be a timer kind of a thing, like a refresh kind of a thing. You can lay that too, sure. I'm sure you can, because some of them old Viking structures, like, that was the roof, right? You're gonna send a picture of an asphalt roof? Okay. Discord is really starting to. Discord is really starting to irritate me. All of their built-in advertisements for nitro and shit. It's irritating me. I think Mrs. RB's up. I think I hear somebody walking around up there. Yeah, I absolutely want to look into this. Level 1 tech forums. So IP cameras, sure. Huh. Okay. All right. What else is on our minds today? That might be about it, guys. Might be about it. Vanilla series. Oh. So we might have to talk about that. I don't remember. I'm not. I might have lost my vanilla world in this old snafu yesterday. I don't know if I got it or not. I was talking to Beholden this morning for the stream because he was watching something on TV when I came out of the bedroom. And I was telling him about what happened with the computer yesterday because I really didn't see him much yesterday. You got the last server one? I know you have that, but Dylan's talking about my actual single player world. I'm pretty sure. I think I have it. I think I have it because I do remember wanting to roll my vanilla world out of the Minecraft launcher into the CurseForge launcher. That way I was in the same launcher for everything that I was doing. So I think I copied the world file over, but I don't have the drive down here. I think. I'm hoping. I'll let you guys know. Actually, what I could do is I could go get the drive. I think I do. I think I have it. And if not, I'm pretty sure I have a recent enough copy that nothing significant would have changed. Because I do back that up. So I think I have something. You know what? Hang tight a minute. I will be right back. I am going to go get it. Sit tight. Okay, I have returned. It should be, if I have it, it'll be on here. Let's see. What in the world is going on here? Okay, hold on. We have to hydrate. So let's hydrate. Get these out of the way right now. No, not yet. Not yet. I haven't tried it yet because I haven't played any Minecraft. We have to stretch, which we did because we went upstairs, but we'll do it again.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O.
Oh! Okay, there's that. Pull the lever. Pull the lever. There, pull the lever. There, pull the lever. Read the chat. There's a lot of stuff in the chat here. So, pull the lever, hydrate. You telling Diamond Anvil you feel nice today? Well, that is very possible that one day we will miss the jetpack power and I will fall to my doom. That is a possibility, yes. And then another hydrate. Good God, man. Uh-huh. Diamond Anvil has been watching for 5 consecutive streams. Diamond, thank you so much. Don't think on how many points you have. You have so many points. You have so many points. All right. So let's see here. Let's make that smaller. And then passport. Backup. Where's my backup? There. This is what I have. So Curse Forge, Minecraft, instances. Hello, beautiful. You have 11,330 points. That's phenomenal. Hello, beautiful. We have our vanilla world. Search Amazon for Campan V3 indoor outdoor IP65. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Don't press format on that drive at the moment. No, I won't. No. No. There's a lot of files in my homework folder. Yes, yes, there are. Yes, there are. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So we have our vanilla world. How does Diamond have more points than Estrisi? Probably because Estrisi spends more points than you do. Probably. All right. Let's go back here. Yeah, that's right. You have to spend points to test stuff. So do I have, I think I have desktop, LG, this one. So over here, wait a minute, hold on. Darth, hold on, wait a minute, you guys. Hold on, slow mode. How do I have more points than you? Diamond Anvil, he earns them at 3 times your rate. That's true. Darth has 180,000 points. Way to go, Darth. Good job, man. So we expect an episode, what, tomorrow or the day after? I always miss streams, but man, put them on YouTube. I can watch them on YouTube. Yeah. So there's always going to be, all of these streams get replayed. It usually takes a couple days for it to settle down, because like as soon as I end this, stream today, YouTube is going to say, we can't monetize your stream because there's copyrighted content in it. It's the music, right? So what I do is I wait for that to happen, and then I go in and I delete the music from the clips. And then from there, usually by Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll have the stream up and available for everybody. So they are rewatchable. But anyway, so what I'm showing you guys here, this is my right-hand monitor. And on my right-hand monitor, usually what's there is this. So it is it's the live broadcast for the stream. And then also on this side over here is my StreamerBot chatbot thing. There are some things in here that I want to do more with. Right now, all of my channel overlays come from Stream Elements. All of my I have 3 screens. Actually, I have 4 screens if you include the laptop screen. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that in these actions and cues and in these commands, everything that is currently hosted in either Twitch or Stream Elements, I want to bring in-house. But I don't know how. And I don't know if I have time to work on it. So if you guys... Why is my air compressor running? My air compressor just turned on. Why is my air compressor running? If you guys know anything about integrating StreamerBot locally into Twitch chat so that when you do an exclamation point command, yeah, that's what I thought. When you do an exclamation point command, I want my PC to handle it. I want to get away from Stream Elements if I can. It's going to give me a lot more flexibility. It's going to give me more control over my content. And honestly, I'm tired of utilizing other services that continuously take things away, right? That's, and again, when you know this may not end up being very good either, because this may end up not being very good either because, again, it's a third-party software that eventually they could go, yeah, you know what, we're tired of giving this away for free. But it is something that I use locally. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me, bros? We got another thing in the Discord chat here. Lobby. Yeah, look at that. 180,700. 180,700. That's pretty good, Darth. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Also, what do we think? What do we think about this layout here? Because we got this layout, and we've also got this layout, right? If I go to gameplay, and then do this, so F11. So if I do this, like, what feels better if I took gameplay and put it into this one? Like, if this right here, if this area here was the game, would that be better for you guys? I don't know. Remember, only one stream a week. I know, one stream a week. I know. You don't think the wife is at home? That's also fair. Also fair. I do like the simplicity here. Don't fix it until it's broken. That's solid advice right there. If I'd have tried to make dual boot online, boy, oh boy, you guys would have had a field day with that. But yeah, you guys would have had a field day with that. Maybe somebody would have stopped me. Maybe somebody would have stopped me. Us stop you. Why? It would have been done in 20 minutes. That's probably also true. Like I feel like Diamond would have been like, nope, stop. Do this. Okay, now do this. Okay, now do this. Voila. Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Shall you or shall you not what? Stop me? Or make fun of me again? Because you do so well at both. This is the other monitor that I have. This is the other monitor that I have. So up here is my music. Over here is my chat window. Over here is activity feed. And then down here is the rewards thing. $40 minutes to the shop close where you can buy the cable that you're missing, or wait until Monday. Well, do you need to do you feel like going today? Or do you feel like waiting until Monday? Which camera or which do I know the difference between George Washington and a duck? I do not. But I bet you can tell me. Feeling is so woke. This is for monitor number 16. What is monitor 16 going to show you that you can't currently see? I feel like you said that was part of your cameras, right? That's a good one. One of them has a face on a bill and the other one has a bill on its face. I like it. Outside camera 8. What does outside camera 8 show you? Is it anything important? Is it like the front door? Is it a secret, stealthy way that you can get into your yard? Potato garden. Okay. Do you need to see your potato garden on a screen between now and Monday? If you feel like you need to see your potato garden between now and Monday, if you feel like you need to see your potato garden between now and Monday, then you probably should go buy the cable. If you don't feel like you're going to need to see your potato garden between now and Monday, then maybe wait until Monday. But if you're going to dig them all up today, are you going to have time to go and get the cable today? Because right now it's what, 4 in the afternoon there, almost 4:30. how many potatoes are we talking about here? Like how big is your potato plot? Meters by meters, how big is it? They close it 4. Well, if they close it 4, then if they close it 4, then you're not going to make it because it's already after 4. Easy answer. Take a picture on your phone, print it on paper, and tape it to the wall. Yeah, see? Problem solved. Tape it to the monitor, and then you're looking at the monitor. See? Modern problems require modern solutions. Mm-hmm. 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 It is a real first world problem. That's right. That is 100% accurate. Oh, I guess I should probably pull this back up over here. Where is it? Oh, I burped. I burped. Here. So the USA doesn't get it. No, we're a first world. We're a first world nation. Barely. But we are first world. What does the U.S. flag and a sad candy cane have in common? I don't know. What do they have? Don't know what planet you're from, but I grew up on this world and it's my first. They're both red, white, and blue. That's a good one. That's a good one. I approve. Oh, sure. Now Estrici's telling us that he's from Mars. Sure he is. So I need to plug that power supply in. I just got it. So I need to plug that power supply in and make sure that it gives me 24 volt output. It's easy enough. Yeah, I kind of like. Here they need women up on Mars. I mean, all right, here we go. This is a good maybe close out the stream topic. Why were the first Americans like ants? I don't know. Am I going to be offended by this? Tell me. They lived in colony. Yep. Accurate. Should we colonize Mars? Should we colonize the moon? Should we do more in space? Which thoughts? Thank you, Estrici. I know I know you probably have something else you want to say to that, but thank you. 250 years is not a small accomplishment. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, you may not have been here for it. We have a lot of work to do, but 250 years is something to be proud of. Go to the pub later, see something old. See, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I can always count on you, buddy. Can always count on you. Gives a few very rich guys something to do. At least they aren't thinking about making more money. Sure. Yes, bro, big time. We need to do lots up there. Not because we're gonna kill Earth, but space is the future. That's the way to go. We need to get to all the planets. I don't know if we need to get to all of the planets. Like, there's some planets that would absolutely just destroy us if we went there. But some of the moons of some of the other planets, like Europa, Enceladus, like there are a few Titan, there are a few moons out there that are intriguing, right? Honestly, I don't think Mars has anything good to offer us. But the science is fairly new. It'd take 500 more years to make you a real democracy? Yes. So, like, I feel like the moon is an easy lift. We've been there. We've been there. And it gives us a good proving ground for the technology that we might use other places. Mars is complicated. Mars is complicated. It doesn't have any magnetic fields. Its atmosphere is weird. But if we can claim some of the items from those planets that you can't live on, I mean, that is true. Some of these places are going to have abundant resources that we don't have in as much abundance here on Earth. I keep coming back. I keep coming back to the Star Trek universe when I think of space exploration and what the possibilities are. You know, outside of warp drive and teleporters, you know, those are theoretical. Are we ever going to have warp drive? Are we ever going to have teleporters? Probably not. Probably not. The physics behind them is mind-boggling at best. But we've been to the moon. That's what you think. Read online. That's done on a soundstage in California. I heard it was in the desert of Nevada, but anyway. I don't know. I don't think that we will ever be able to leave the solar system. I don't think the human race will ever be able to leave the solar system. Because the solar, look at how long, again, this is old technology, but look at how long it took Voyager to leave the solar system. But that being said, but to what end, Istrisi? Our closest neighbor is what, 4.7 light years away? There's no way that any remnant of human life would make it, because at the speeds that we're capable of traveling, that 4.7 light year journey is hundreds of thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of years, if not more. So will we ever be able to leave the solar system? We can leave. We're not going to get very far. The ship might make it, but no remnant of human life would, except for maybe the bones that are scattered across the deck of the ship that they're on. But we could. That's an interesting topic of conversation, Dylan. Like, in order to travel that far, we would have to get some type of much faster travel. And even at the speed of light, even at the speed of photons, the best we could do is 5 years. It would take 5 years to get there. 5 years of traversing interstellar space in a can. Leaving the solar system is only an energy problem. Correct. We don't need to learn how to travel faster. Yes, we do. Think of how many streams you could watch in 5 years. Yes, also true. But the solar system, our solar system, all 9 planets. Yes, I said 9. Fight me. We could colonize the solar system in time. Right now we're looking at what, 18 months for humans to get to Mars. Okay, that's fine. A few years to get to the likes of Jupiter and Saturn and Neptune and, and the moons of those planets, right? So that's a great point, Istrisi. That's a great point. You're born and die in space. We have no science on, well, I can't say that we have no science, but I don't know if we have any credible science on being born, being raised, and reproduction in space. Also true, but when you're talking about hear me out on this. If it's going to take hundreds of thousands of years for colonists to leave Earth and get to the Proxima Centauri system, the United States turns 250 old. The America, the country, turns 250 years old today. Do we still have the same goals and motivations that we had 250 years ago? And I say that as a point. If we launch astronauts, space travelers, today with the goal, let's say we take 100 colonists and put them on a ship and say, go to Proxima Centauri and find a settlement. How much harder could birth space be than, say, Denmark? That's a fair point. At some point, the message always gets bastardized. The message always gets corrupted. And so if we send 100 colonists off, by the time they leave the solar system, by the time they leave Sol's orbit of influence, do they still know where they're going, and do they still know why? I'm throwing 100 out there as a round number, right? I don't know what the number would have to be to guarantee survival upon arrival at Alpha or Proxima Centauri. I don't know what that number would be. Maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 500. I don't know. But then you get into logistics of how do you even create a ship that big, right? That is true. How big was he had 3 ships? He had 3 ships. How many people did he have for that journey? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that question is. Was it 50? Was it 25? Was it 100? I don't know. Can I look it up? I'm sure I can look it up. Says 90. The AI overview says that there were about 90 men aboard the 3 ships. Istrici's talking about 62% female, 38% male, no less than 10,000. So again, logistics wise, how do you create a ship that big? We were able to take over an entire population of a country with that number. We were able to take over. We were able to take over a portion with that number. The problem was that we kept sending more and more and more and more. And then when the conquistadors got here, they did real damage. And then when the American settlements decided they wanted to get bigger, we did more damage. The problem that we have is that we had 2 things in our favor. How big is the population of Mars? I think it's 0. I'm pretty sure it's 0. Pretty sure it's 0. And to that point, we had another factor that is often not considered when it comes to how we were able to take over the Americas in mass. And that was disease. The people of Europe had spent centuries building immunities to certain things like smallpox. Smallpox is probably the biggest thing that helped us in conquering the Americas, because the people over here had never been exposed to it, and when they were exposed to it, it ran rampant through their society. I'm not saying that we didn't do other heinous things to them, but it certainly didn't hurt that we had a biological weapon that we were essentially immune to that they were not. I know we're not immune to smallpox, but we had a much better survival rate of smallpox than the indigenous tribes of the Americas would have had. That's also true. We have no immunity to Marspox. So that is true. I will say this. I do have concerns, right? We keep bringing back all of these samples from things. Like we collided with an asteroid out there, and we're bringing back samples from that, or we've brought back samples from that. We're trying to bring back samples from Mars. We have all these missions to go and get stuff and bring them back. I know that we're opening them in controlled environments, but again, they're not of Earth. They're not of here. And so, do we really know how to effectively protect against these particulates and how they'll react when exposed to an openly earthly environment. I know the scientists are doing their best to make sure that everything is done to a very exacting standard. Also true. We also forget to have that conversation as well. All of the stuff that we're sending to these other places. Now, with that being said, the ships, I don't know how good the shielding is for microbial life. I know that we try to make sure that microbial life is not even present. We build these things in sterile environments. Earth pox and yeah, exactly. But with that being said, I feel like the amount of irradiation that these crafts are exposed to, because they are out there in unprotected space, I feel like most everything would be killed, but maybe not. Small matter of gene pool. Even a plant in the garden has genes. Yeah. Well, yeah. And we are, again, we are carbon-based life forms. We're designed to thrive in this environment, in the environment that we're in. So with that being said, what about the environment that we're sending this stuff to? If we do encounter any life, even if it's just microbial, what are we exposing that life to, and how is it going to react? How is it going to, like, what's going to happen, The stuff that we send there, is it going to benefit that life, or is it going to harm it? The stuff that we bring back from those places, is it going to benefit us, or is it going to harm us? Like, where did COVID-19 come from? It's probably not something that we brought back from another planet, but like, these are things that people need to think about. People smarter than me. Same thing with AI. I've seen all the Terminator movies. Are we really being as careful as we can with the technology that we have at our fingertips? Every time a volcano blows up, it can send rocks into space that don't go back down to Earth again. I think that's mostly true. I think it's a very small amount, because it would have to be traveling astronomically fast, and the ejecta from an explosion, from an eruption, is traveling very fast. But it takes a long way. To get out of the influence of Earth's gravity. I mean, the moon, for crying out loud, is under the influence of Earth's gravity. But there does come a point where, if you're with the recent Artemis mission, I was able to follow all that and go, okay, well, that makes sense, right? You get to a point where the Earth's gravity becomes less influential and the moon's gravity becomes more. And so if you could have some of that ejecta, from an eruption that gets outside of the Earth's sphere of influence and then gets into the moon's sphere of influence. And if the angle is right, I suppose it could be ejected out of the Earth Moon system, right? But I don't know how likely that is, because by that time we would be talking about fairly small particles. I would think. Skynet is an internet company in India. Yes, it is. Heard COVID was from a biolab founded by our research dollars, or so you've been told. Wouldn't be surprised. Super volcano in Indonesia did blow a long time ago. Yes, that is true. It's true. Made a small ice age. That is true. Some of the DNA was found on the moon. Okay, that's good to know. And I have no reason to doubt that. But like I said, I feel like it's a fairly small amount. And of all of that, what are the chances? I guess the chances are non-zero that any of that ejecta from an eruption would then land on another planet like a Venus or a Mars or whatever. Meteorite impacts launch stuff into space. Sure. And also let's not forget, the Chicxulub crater in that is the common cause for the common agreed upon cause for the extinction of the dinosaurs. It ejected a lot of stuff from Earth. Well, it wasn't the moon that rammed into Earth. It was another planet that was forming in our orbit. And then when they collided, then that's what created the moon. Hello, Yumi. Yumi? Yummy? Yellow? Don't mind Distrissy. He's got fat fingers. So yeah, there is a possibility that impacts with Earth, explosions on Earth, eject matter into the atmosphere or into the out into space, and that they do leave the Earth's sphere of influence and could land someplace else. 100% sure. I think it's a super low chance. I think it's a super low chance. Like, it takes Mars panspermia. Yes, I have heard that before. As a matter of fact, there's a pretty popular theory that the reason that life exists on Earth at all is due to panspermia. The comets are commonly referred to as the source of our liquid water because they're giant ice balls, right? So comet impact with Earth provided the water, and then also asteroid impacts would have brought the carbon chains that were needed to the proteins that were needed to develop into life structures. Or God created us. I don't know. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. Or God threw the asteroid at the planet, creating the way for the proteins and such to get here. Space frogs. Now we're getting somewhere. It was space frogs. Pink space frogs. Or just an egg. It's possible. I mean, think back to the end of Men in Black. The entire universe is a marble being played with by creatures of some unknown origin. I don't know. It doesn't sound all that absurd to me. Doesn't sound all that absurd to me. We got a few minutes left. This is a good topic. I honestly, I didn't think this topic was going to bloom into what we're talking about here, but this is good. This has been a good conversation. So here's the perspective that I like to keep on a lot of things. How long does it take for our sun to revolve around the center of the galaxy? Isn't it like 250 million years? It's like 250 million years. So for the first time ever, human beings are in this point in the galaxy. For the first time ever. The last time that we were in this place, they weren't even dinosaurs yet. So, yeah, that may not be true. There may have been. Let's see now. Now I gotta look. When did first appear? So the last time that we were in this spot was the beginning of the dinosaurs. The beginning. And the sun is also moving through a different part of space. That is 100% because the galaxy is moving as well. All I'm saying is that for the first time in our existence, we're in the same spot rotationally around our galactic core. And space is moving as well. We have never been here before. I don't know how big of a variable that is, but it's got to be a variable, right? Do I know why there's no way why aliens haven't found any smart life on Earth yet? Because there isn't any. There isn't any smart life. Our orbit is decaying. Well, yeah, sure. They all land in the US. That's funny. That's funny, man. That's funny. Yeah. So, I guess we have never been here before in space. 100%, 100% true. 100% true. They always land and find a hillbilly. Find a hillbilly. And some of them hillbillies are pretty smart. I know a couple that are real smart. Is there other intelligent life in the universe? 100%. 100%. Will we ever meet them? No. I don't see how we can. I don't see how we can. Physics is physics. And the science behind physics, I mean, so the definition of smart is pretty. We could spend space. I hope. I mean, ideally, sure. I mean, that's the principle behind warp drive. And what really is intelligence? I mean, those are all debatable. Because again, we're looking at it from a purely human perspective. Purely human perspective. And what we would deem as smart or intelligent, some other life form may not. Are birds smart? Are dogs and cats smart? Are worms smart? Sharks? Turtles? Is my watch smart? Entangled quantum particles move faster than the speed of light. So We have learned that, haven't we? Intelligence, by definition, the definition that we created, is the ability to reason, solve problems, think abstractly, and acquire new knowledge. Monkeys do that. 100%. 100%. And I mean, you know, a lot of people don't like this to be said, but we are related to monkeys. We're related to them. I reject the limits you put on humanity. Yeah. Yeah. Birds do that. Ants do that. Crows are a perfect example. Yes. Crows are amazing. This has been a great conversation, y'all. This has been a good couple hours. I'm glad we did a just chatting stream today. This has been good. I am super happy with this. If other life has been here, we don't know if they've talked with crows. True. You even know a few people that talk to crows? Okay. So the last thing that Dylan said over on YouTube was ever. Do I stand by my statement that we will never leave the solar system? I don't know if I can say that I don't know if I can say with 100% confidence that we will never leave the solar system. Maybe we will. We're dumb enough to try it. And we're smart enough to try it. Hey, I'll tell you what. Talking to plants is not a sign of non-intelligence. Do we know if they tried it without us knowing it? No. 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 We don't. What exactly was on Voyager 1 and 2? We know what they say was on it, but what exactly was on it? Honestly, if you could figure out how to do it, and this is going to sound horrible. This is going to sound horrible. But if you we sent a freaking record. We put a record on the side of Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Human vanity expects that some other intelligent life in space is going to know what to do with that record. If you want other beings to know what was here, you send a sample of that life. You send a sample of that life. Leaving the solar system was so 1970s, we've moved on. Yes, I did know that. There is what is it? What's the probe that's bouncing around on the sun right now? It's come the closest, but it still hasn't seen the northern or the southern pole, which says a lot. There is a probe there. Parker. Parker is the one that's orbiting the sun. Oh, you saw Hail Mary. I have not seen it yet. My oldest has seen it, said it was really good. I have not seen it yet. It's on Prime? Okay. Yes, I know. Parker still only looks at the side. We haven't sent a we need to send a probe that instead of doing an orbit around it, that it'll do a orbit around it. Got a thing for some of us on Discord? Okay. We'll take a look at it. But I think that's going to do it for today. We have reached 11 a.m. And so it is time for this stream come to a close. I want to thank all of you. I know that these first of the month streams can get a little lame sometimes because it's just chatting, right? But I like to do that at least once a month with my community, and just kind of hang out for a while and talk about things. And today was a great endeavor into that. We had some really good conversations about dual booting Linux and mistakes that I made on that process yesterday. We've had this last discussion about exploring our universe one small leap at a time, and what the future may hold there. And I really appreciate all of you being here today to chat, to hang out with me and chat with me. It means very, very much to me. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Hit the follow button, get notified every time we go live, which is every Saturday. Next Saturday, we will be back playing Minecraft again. I was able to salvage my Minecraft world from the doom that I imparted on it yesterday when I was trying to dual boot my machine. But we'll be back next week. We'll do this again. You are all invited. But until then, be nice to one another. Do something nice for somebody that you don't even know. Happy birthday to the United States of America, celebrating 250 years since the Declaration of Independence. I hope that you all have safe, happy, and healthy celebrations today for those of you that are going to be doing that. And we will see you again next Saturday. And until then, get off my lawn. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.